anyway, we're just out there hustling, man. And you got to leave the cave, kill it, drag it home. And my wife grew up on a farm, so she's like, yeah, hard work's how you do this, so get after it. Now, you can't maintain that. That was 2 years. It wasn't 20. 20, I would have lost my family.
Yeah.
You can't maintain relationships. My kids would have been messed up. And so by the time my kids got on up, I didn't miss a prom. I didn't miss a hockey game. I didn't miss a whatever. The big games, little stuff I'd be gone during the week, but we started putting these dates on the calendar, and we would book our events around them. You couldn't book on top of that, and I still do that.
Yeah. When people talk about like, you hear a lot of discussion these days about how inflation is growing so fast, I guess, that it's not, that the minimum wage isn't keeping up with it. It feels like detrimental. Like, it feels sometimes impossible. If you look at the minimum wage, you're like, how is this going to, it would feel impossible almost, I feel like, if you were trying to take care of a family or something on that,
Well, truthfully, minimum wage has never, I don't think, since even it was formed in the 70s, I don't think any time in history minimum wage has been enough to take care of a family. So you've always had to think beyond minimum wage if you wanted to excel, if you wanted to have, A, build some wealth, or B, just take care of a family, those kinds of things. So minimum wage is not designed for the entry-level jobs that's not designed. What's more disturbing than minimum wage is that wages in general, average household incomes, have not kept up with inflation, and so
that's alarming.
That's more alarming, because that's the whole population. It's not just this segment that enters entry level stuff at minimum wage. Because if we go all the way back to minimum wage, I'm cutting grass for $3 a yard in 1972. Okay, 1,000. There were dinosaurs in the yard. We had to get them out of the yard.
Yeah.
But 1972, $3 a yard. But minimum wage was $1.65. My buddy's working at Burger King flopping Whoppers, and he's making $1.65. If I can cut that $3 yard in an hour, I'm making double minimum wage at 12 years old.
Right.
And that's how my little math brain was working. So I'm running that mower. I'm going. And so
you can even cut somebody's yard and just go to the door and be like, hey, just cut your yard.
No, that was my job. They were one of my clients. I had to go cut their grass.
But some people, I bet if you rolled up to my door and knocked on my door and said, hey, man, I just cut your yard, will you give me $10 for it or whatever?
Except for that other guy you hired to do it that's coming next week. But there's a problem with him. You've always had the opportunity to beat minimum wage. So you don't want to sit and say, okay, minimum wage is my gauge of whether I can go win, because I can go do something that beats minimum wage.
Right. So